Hi everyone, this is Claudine, Miss K Crafts, and I have a Shabby Chic book I wanted to share with you. I've done this quite some time ago, and I'm just now getting this video uploaded. This book is very thick, as you can see, and I don't know how long it's going to take me. I'm going to try to run through it real fast. The cover is made out of chipboard, and I reinforced the back and the inside pages with tie-back, a technique I learned from Kathy Orta's video. I painted the chipboard pink and then added lace trims, several layers of laces, flat back pearl around the edges, and the flowers are from Wild Orchid Crafts. I made all the leaves with my Sizzix die. A little organza bloom at the top left corner with a little trinket, umbrella trinket hanging. The cameos from Discount Paper Crafts that I painted and added some trim to. Stick pin that I made following Fiona Jennings 644 tutorial. Little organza bloom with a rosebud here and here again on the right hand corner. The Tim Holtz metal plate, and I covered the label Memories with a pink tulle. Hope you can see that here. I kept the sides plain. I didn't add any fibers or trinkets for a reason, and I'll show you why later. I got this small clasp in the hardware store in the fishing tackle department, and I just attached it to a chain. And I used the Lace and Linens collection for the papers, and I edged all the papers with stitching and white acrylic paint to soften the edges. For this little hanging sign, I just glued some popsicle sticks together, Mod Podged this little verse and stamped a little key on the right, and attached some ribbon on the back to some jump rings and little pieces of chain hanging from the key, and some more little leaves that I cut out with my Sizzix. Wooden mask from Crafty Embleys with a little feather in it, and a little message tucked in behind the mask, and the little fairy from Fairy Bell collection that I fuzzy cut. On this page I have a little ceramic tile on the upper right hand side, a butterfly that I freehand cut in the middle, and a ribbon stamped with Dream, and all three of these techniques I learned from Fiona. And the flower is crocheted that I made, and a little ceramic heart in the middle. All the pockets have tags for photos on one side and journaling on the back side. On this page is a little envelope that I cut out, and I embossed the top with some little decorations, and there's a place to add a photo there. And it's embellished with some bead sprays that I got from Wild Orchid Crafts, a little cameo, a couple little flowers, and a little bow. On this side, a little flower trim from my stash. I think I got this at the dollar store. And little lace, a little butterfly underneath, a couple of tags, and flowers that I punched out, and a crochet flower that I made, another little flower from my stash, and some beads. Another tag for photos and journaling. On this page I have a little piece of fabric that I stamped Memory, a little sewing machine from Crafty Embleys with a little fabric underneath. The scissors I stamped and embossed and fuzzy cut out. I cut this little flower out of some fabric. There's a little button with some twine and a little flower from my stash. Some lace and bead trim here. On this page here I made a little wooden frame. I glued popsicle sticks together, painted them, added some beads and lace and a little piece of acrylic for the glass portion. On the left is a little ribbon banner attached with a safety pin, a flower, and buttons for my stash. A little wooden corset from Craft Ambleys, and a little crocheted flower underneath that I made. This little tag slides out, and I stamped the back. It says "Live today, remember it tomorrow," and there's a place to add a photo or for journaling on the back. On the right is another flower I cut out of fabric, and there's a little wooden spool with some thread, and here's another tag for photos and journaling. And by the way, I wanted to mention that all these pages were made with white envelopes. I think this is my favorite page. The little parasol on this page, I was inspired by Fiona and another lady, and all I did was cut the shape that I wanted, covered it with fabric, and trimmed it out with some beads and laces and some little trims that I had. And I used a dowel for the handle part and added beads on the top and the bottom. Added lace here on the bottom, and a little bow here on the corner. I made my sister's initial S here by threading some beads on a wire and shaping it like I wanted. For this tag and pocket, I embossed it and edged the border with the Martha Stewart punch and added some stickles and a little lace. A place for a photo on the front, and for some journaling on the back. It says "Precious Moments." On this side I made a little fan just like I did the parasol, and I added some little tassels here on the bottom, and I just love them. I just tried to figure out how to make them, and here's a little close-up of them. Pretty much like you do a stick pin, except you use thread. I think they're so pretty. Another tag here, and journaling on the back. Another tag for photos and journaling. On this side I dyed the lace and the ribbons green so they would all match. A little slide buckle there my sister sent me. This is a little booklet I made. I stamped the front, and I apologize, I don't know the name of the company where the stamps came from, but I just added some stickles and painted a little bit of it. It opens up 3 parts to add photos or for journaling. On this next side is a little braided ribbon that I saw a tutorial that Fiona did, and I believe Glenda was the other lady that started it. The only difference is I added some lace and bead when I braided mine, and I'm real happy with the way that it turned out. I really love it. It was so much fun to make. This is another little booklet I made for photos and journaling, and I used the vintage C packet for the front, and it opens up 4 ways. There are spots for journaling or for adding photos. I stamped the background with a script stamp that I had, layered it with a mat, and then stamped over that with, I believe that's Inkadinkadoo stamps with the little owl. And you can see here on the back all the little vintage C-pack pictures, so pretty. Lots of room for photos and journaling. Here's another tag. This next page I just decorated with a picture of my sister and myself on a ceramic piece, and topped it with glossy accent, added some lace, a little mirror with a butterfly cut out, a string of beads around, a little crocheted flower that I made and starched with some glue. There's a little seashell and a little bead that I alcohol inked, a little ceramic heart that I stamped, a little clock that I made. I just used a little round piece of wood, added a clock face, and topped it with some glossy accent. There's a little spacer bead at the top, and I connected it with a jump ring and a little bead trim coiled right here at the top. This little butterfly goes right here, but it fell out. On this side here, I made this little fan. It's made out of paper, and I crocheted all around the edge there. It's an idea I got from Leonie, my passion for paper. A little stamped ribbon there, and a little crochet flower, flat back pearl, and the ribbons hanging off of that little hanger. On this side is a little piece that I cut out. I just freehand cut it and painted it gold. The top layer is gold, the bottom layer is copper. The little leaves I cut out with my zigzags and distressed them. The flower is from Wild Orchid Crafts. This is a little ceramic scroll that I made, and I distressed it and painted it and Mod Podged that little saying on the front about traditions. And I crocheted a little piece to hang it on, and I connected it to that little bar at the top. So that's my little book, and I want to show you a bag that I made to put this book in instead of a box this time. Here's a picture of the bag that I made, and I think it turned out real pretty. I used pink corduroy for the inside color, and then I layered the outside with some lace. I didn't have a pattern for this. It was pure guesswork. I also used cardboard for the bottom platform. My sister sent me this gorgeous lace trim. So beautiful. And I trimmed all around the edges on the top lid. So pretty. Gathered a little in the middle and added a flower on top from Wild Orchid Crafts. And then right below that is a little trinket that I added. The closure is a little vintage button with some lace gathered below it, and I have another little rosebud there on the side. This is the little strap that I made to go with it. This is a picture of the back with two little lace bows, so it's kind of simple in the back. This is the inside of the top. I just have a little bow, and I cut a few little squares from the fabric and just kind of tacked them in to kind of give it a shabby look. And this is the inside. And the book just fits in there good and snug. Well, that's the reason why I didn't put any trinkets or fabrics on the side of the book. So that's my Shabby Chic book and bag, and I hope you like it. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate all your comments. Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.